lesson today. Now, we've been learning about water. Water is fun. We can drink water, and all living things depend on water to survive, right? Now, we are going to be learning about the 3 different states of water. Which state of water do you know of? Well, I know one, which is the liquid state. The liquid state of water is wet and flowy. It can take the shape of any container. You can pour it in a cup and it fits in a cup. You can pour it in a jug and it fits in a jug. You can pour it in a bottle and it fits in a bottle. So the liquid does not have a definite shape. It flows, it's wet. And that's our liquid state of water. What is the second state of water? The other state of water is solid. Now the solid state of water, it has a definite shape and it's really cold. That means we have frozen the water and it has become solid. Now the other state of water is gas, or it's also, we find water in also air. In the air we breathe in, there is water in gas. Now we're going to be finding out how we can change our liquid form to solid and solid to liquid, liquid to gas. We're going to be finding all that out today. Now, our first task is changing water, liquid water, to solid. How do we do that? Now, for that, we are going to need something to make our solid have a definite shape. Now, for this one, I use a cube to make the ice cube. Now, for water to change from liquid to solid, we have to freeze it. That means we have to turn the temperatures really low. So turn the temperatures really low. And for that, we can just put the water in my cup and say, oh, I've got a mold. I'm going to put my water in there and ta-da! It's solid. No, it can't be solid because this temperature over here is not really cold. So I'm going to be using my fridge over there to make my ice to make my water to be solid. So I'm going to be using my mold. I'm going to get my liquid in my mold. I know you've made popsicles with your parents at home and ice cream. So we're going to use a shape or a mold for our water, and then we're going to see how we are going to be changing liquid to solid. Now, if you remember, we also learned that liquid is a matter, and matter has molecules. So even water has molecules. So when we put our water in the fridge and turn the temperatures really low, the molecules come together, and like they look like they're hugging each other. They come together really close and they join together so that they make a solid form. So the molecules in the water come together to make a solid form. So I'm going to be putting my water in my mold and putting it in the fridge. We're just going to wait for a while as the water or the water molecules freeze and come together, join together to make a solid. Now we're not going to wait for only a few minutes. We're going to wait for maybe as long as an hour or so. So you go check when it's an hour or so. Now I'm going to be checking if our ice mold has already formed. Let's go get our ice mold. Let's see if it's already. Yes, it is. Wow, look at that. It's nice and hard. Let me take that out for everybody to see. It's really cold. There is our mold or butterfly mold. Now we got our ice state over there. So we got the water to be solid. We got our water to be solid. Now the molecules came all together. They came all together to make the water solid. Now we've got our 2 states. We got the liquid. We got our liquid state here. where the water is wet and running. We've got our solid state, where it's hard and it has a definite shape and it's really cold. That means we were freezing the water. Now, what happens when we want to make a gas state of water? Now, the first one, we turn the temperatures really low, right? Now, when we want to make the gas state of water, we are going to turn the temperatures really high. That means we're going to be heating. So we are going to be heating water to make the gas state. So the next thing, we are going to be taking water. I have my water in there. You see my water? And we are going to be heating the water. So I'm going to turn my kettle on. And we're going to see what happens to the water when we boil it. What happens to the water when we boil it? Now this part you have to have apparent with you. Now look at inside the water and look, something is forming. What's that? It's the gas coming out. We are heating the water and the gas is coming out. And if you look inside, it is forming some bubbles. That means the water molecules are jumping up and down. They're not coming together as the way it happens when we were freezing. Now when we are heating, the water molecules jump around. They're moving around everywhere and they're forming bubbles. And when they form bubbles, that means there is lots of air forming inside. And look, we've got our gas coming out. There it is. Do you see it? I know you can see it. There is the gas or the vapor coming out. There is the water vapor coming out. Now this transition from water to water vapor, the gas that is coming out, is called evaporation. The water is evaporating and forming the water vapor. Now in these three states of water, we've seen how to form liquid to solid and liquid to gas. Now we are going to be finding out how we can make solid back to liquid. Look, it's already coming back to liquid. I've got water in here. It's already coming back to liquid. So what do we do when we want to get water, our solid form, back to our liquid form? This process is called melting. As you can see, the ice is already melting and going back to the liquid form. So our solid, when you take solid and we melt solid, it goes back to our liquid form. Now, I am wondering, how do we get our gas form of water, our water vapor, back to liquid? How do we do that? Now, let's find out. Now, to change our water vapor to liquid form, for this you need a grown-up to do this because this water is really hot. Okay, so I'm going to have a small bowl and I'm going to put in my very hot water and I'm going to be very careful because I don't want to get burned. Okay, so there we go. I got my very hot water. As you can see, the water vapor is still coming out. So now for gas to go back to our liquid form, the process is called condensation, where the water vapor hits a cool surface and it turns back to water. Now for our experiment, I'm going to be using some clear foil. I'm going to cover the top. I'm going to cover the top really nicely and carefully because I don't want any water getting onto my skin. Oh, try that again. Alright, for that you need to put water in, the hot water in a container, cover it with a clean foil and just watch it. If you look very closely, I'm going to bring that really close for you to see. If you look at that, you can see that there is some water droplets forming on the foil. That means when the gas hits the cold surface, that is the the clear foil, when it hits the clear foil, it condensates. That is the process where gas forms back to liquid, called condensation. So the water droplets come and form on top. That means our water vapor has changed back to water form. Let's have a look. Are we ready? Let's see. Let's see. There is our water vapor, and you can see it has our water over there. So we have changed our water to solid. We have also changed our gas back to liquid, and we have also changed our liquid. We have also changed our solid to liquid. So we've known the 3 states of water and how we can form these 3 states of water. Now, how do we change? Now here, I'm going to pose some questions on our class dojo, and I need you to go and investigate for me how we can change different states of water into other states of water, right? Okay, I hope you enjoyed our lesson today. Stay tuned for some questions that you have to do on our class dojo.